So, you're ready to take a healing journey. That's wonderful. How does one heal? The first step to any healing that we do in this life is to understand what we are healing. What are we healing? A lot of the times people will say, I'm ready to heal. And what they mean is, I want it all gone. I want it all gone. I don't want it anymore. I want to be a new person. I want to be who I've never been, but what I assume healing is going to bring me to. Healing only happens with focus. Focus. We need focus. And we need reminders. Lots of reminders. We are going to keep our brain up here. Take your brain. There it goes. Soul and the self. Our brain here. This is how we've been taught to be. And it goes a step further of how we are. Because it's the conditioning. It's the trauma response. It's the everything that you hate about yourself. Up there. We aren't going to focus on healing this first. That is the biggest slide to fall deep into failure. You won't win here if you start here. Because for those of us with trauma and emotional pain, we aren't confident. There's no way you can walk up to this brain and say, you're doing it wrong. Because that brain is going to give you facts. It's going to give you evidence. It's going to give you clarity. It's going to give you truth. It's going to give you patterns. It's going to give you memories. It's going to give you signals, trauma response. It's going to control you. And if you step over to the brain without any confidence, you will believe the brain. Which is probably what we've tried before. We've tried to get help. We've tried to heal. We've tried to get over things. We've tried it here. I'm telling you, this is part of the process. This is. We will rewire the brain. But let's have a conversation with the brain where you actually have a shot at being heard. I mentioned we're going to be on a journey to heal the vibration of confidence. We're not going to be working through the vibration of alignment in our entire being. We are going to find and choose and become alignment in the vibration of confidence. Confidence is a tricky thing because while I am teaching it here to be a vibration, the only way you will actually start to feel confidence grow is through action. This is going to be an action-based healing journey. There may be times where we journal, maybe. There may be times where we process emotion. There may be times where we sit with truth. There may be times where we start to not really want the healing journey anymore. And that's okay. But in order to calm the brain down in this healing journey, we need to give it a task. Who has kids here? Kids love to help. And especially when kids are young, the help isn't always helpful. Not in the way of the help. It is helpful in the way that the child is focused on something else other than you, so you can get something done. Any mom knows if you want to cook dinner, if you want to do the dishes, if you want to do anything, if you want to work, you have to give a healthy distraction to your kid. So while our brain is complex, our brain is not a kid. We need the brain at some point. We need to give it something to focus on, a task. Which means you need to know what you are healing. What are you healing? We are going to take our life in a whole on this healing journey. We're not going to focus on one event. We're not going to focus on one memory. We want multiple events in our life, multiple memories in our life to come forward so that we are pouring light into every dark place in our mind. So the focus isn't, let me accept trauma, let me heal it all, let me heal my relationship with my mother or father or ex or current partner. Those are beautiful intentions. But we want to remind ourselves, we are not here to fight ourselves. We are here to fight for ourselves. So we're not going to fight the brain. We're going to advocate for ourselves, to our thoughts. During our time together, we are going to take on a new concept, a new idea. Your thoughts aren't truth. Your thoughts aren't accurate at all times. Your thoughts are ideas. Your thoughts are fears. Sometimes your thoughts are not even yours. We want to separate from the belief that every thought you think is accurate. It's not truth, it's just a thought, which is why we're separating the brain here. Thoughts are here. You are here. You are outside of yourself looking at your thoughts. We don't want to hate our thoughts. We want to give our child brain, for lack of a better word, something to focus on. If I say, we're going to heal all of our trauma, we're going to heal this particular person, this relationship, this event, the brain starts bringing forward every memory, every idea, every piece of data you have collected in your life forward to have a debate. There are two emotions the brain does not understand for those of us who have trauma. Hope and inspiration. These two emotions feed confidence. They grow it. So when you come over to the brain and say, I am going to heal confidence, hope, and inspiration. The brain goes, what is that? What is that? We need to give it a task. The task is, whenever you have thoughts that do not match what we are healing, when I am processing the healing, your job is to default to one line. Here we go. I'm willing to possibly, maybe, believe. I'm willing to believe that possibly, maybe. I'm willing to believe that possibly, maybe. Confidence is a good thing. I'm willing to believe that possibly, maybe, we are going to feel better. I'm willing to believe that possibly, maybe, I can feel relief. I'm willing to believe that possibly, maybe, whatever it is that your thoughts are pushing you towards. If it's a relationship, you say, I'm willing to believe that possibly, maybe, I don't need this relationship to heal today to be okay. If it's worry, I'm willing to believe that possibly, maybe, everything will be all right. You see, toxic positivity doesn't work. It doesn't work. When you say, be happy, have you ever told a screaming child, be happy when they are crying? I have yet to see a tantrum being thrown from a child and you say, be happy. And the child says, you're right. You're right. I'm not upset and in a tantrum anymore. Okay, Mom, let's go. Okay, Dad. No! That kid gets more upset. What's beautiful when a child is in tantrum Let it out. Let it out. Yep. I know that sounds really, really tough. I know. What are we going to do about that? Let's find another healthy distraction so you can focus on that instead of this emotion that you're feeling after you process the emotion. If I try to stop the emotion here, the child does not learn. The child stops and becomes fearful of emotion. Everyone here has been trained out of emotion in real time. Toxic positivity trains you out of emotion in real time. I should be. I should be grateful for my life, even though it's been flipped, turned upside down. Sure. But if you say I should be, and you avoid your emotion, your life will be turned upside down for a very long time. We have to learn how to feel our true feelings in real time. Here's the thing. We are afraid of emotion. And when you are afraid of emotion, you know your brain, the one up here, is currently leading the way. We need to learn and understand that grace is your only way out. Compassion is your only way out. Which means you need to think of your brain like a child. It needs to be nurtured. And even when it has outbursts, tantrums, even when it yells at you, gets upset over things that do not make sense, who you are is going to lead. I don't care how many tantrums you have on this healing journey, and you will have them. I don't care how many times you have doubt. I don't care how many times you fall down. I don't care how many times. The only thing I care about is how many times you get back up. And what I mean by that is, no matter how many times this brain is leading, you say, but I'm willing to believe that possibly maybe. I want you to write this down. I want you to keep this as a reminder, always. I am willing to believe that possibly maybe. It is your key. It is your focus. It is the iPad you give your child. I'm willing to believe that possibly maybe. Your brain can't compute that. Is it a fact? Is it a feeling? So what is that? It's hopeful. It will not be able to continue to lead when you get up and choose that statement. So what is it we're healing? Because we need focus. We are healing the vibration of confidence, which ultimately is the vibration of you. There is going to be a range of emotion, steps, healing, phases, from one end to the other. Now, if I am holding the line of confidence, and there is a start and a finish, right here, this is unworthiness. Right here, confidence. So I want you to picture a line. The line of confidence. And we're going to take steps on this journey. Steps on this journey. We are not going to step into blind toxic positivity because you don't process emotion. You don't experience, you don't overcome your fear. Faking happy, faking it till you make it, works in situations in your life, but it does not grow confidence. And that is what we're healing. And that's the focus. Confidence as a whole will heal other things without you knowing. You are going to see so many different areas of your life change. And the beautiful piece is, if you choose to take steps towards confidence, you don't have to exactly know what the other things are. We are going to take a journey of the soul and self. Brain is over here. We're going to take a journey through 10 specific phases. The 10 phases each have a name. Sleepwalking, breakdown, awakening, undoing, choice, healing, reclaiming, rising up, softening, and alignment. Now, we are not aligning our entire life. We are aligning our confidence. Because that is the only vibration that matters when you are recovering from trauma. When you feel worthy, other areas in your life will change faster than you know. But if we focus on worthiness, your brain has a lot of data. A lot of data on reasons why you aren't worthy. So maybe that's why we're working on confidence. Maybe this is how you actually start to heal. You're going to step into this healing journey with you driving. For most of you, for the first time. You only know what it is like to approach healing from the brain. What if confidence was all you needed? What if all you needed was a moment? A moment where your soul and yourself, your two emotion centers, experience the same thing at the same time. In each of these phases, there's going to be steps. There's going to be guidelines. There's going to be a process. But ultimately, what will happen in each phase, each level, is we will be aligning ourself and our soul with two different emotion centers, two different minds. We will be aligning them together and making a choice. You are going to have to feel emotion. That is how they link. You're going to have a conversation between the two where you agree. You will be making a triangle in yourself, in your soul and yourself, in each of these phases. Now the beautiful piece is, as your confidence grows, so does your worth. And when that vibration grows higher and higher and higher, where you experience more and more and more confidence, you will start to ask a different question. You will want something else. And I want you to remind yourself of this. Because during this healing journey, you are going to think and believe that you do not want to give up anything in your life. Maybe you'll want to believe that you can give up everything except that person. And that might be true. But here, we aren't going to know what we really want until we get past the choice, until we get past the healing, until we get past the reclaiming, the rising up, the softening, until we get to alignment. I want you to picture a wall. A wall on the line of confidence. We will start here, sleepwalking, breakdown, awakening, undoing, choice, healing, reclaiming, rising up, softening, alignment. Here, see how we're closer to the brain? Here, the wall is brick. It's brick. Sleepwalking is avoidance. You can't see any other alternative. And slowly, as we move up the scale of confidence, the wall starts to shift over an alignment. It is glass. You can see more. You can see opportunity. You can see what you haven't seen before. In the middle, at the choice, is where you can start to see through. It is not an awakening. Awakening is the hope, the truth, and the belief. Possibly, maybe it can be different. If you feel stuck, perhaps you are facing a brick wall. That can feel claustrophobic. That can feel isolating. That can feel lonely. But when the wall changes to glass, you can see what you didn't know. You can see what you couldn't see. Not because you're bad, but because no one can see through brick. Everyone here starts in sleepwalking. The desire to heal is not awakening. The desire to heal is not enlightenment, or we would all be fine. There are going to be some deep, heavy truths that we face here. You aren't alone. Isolation is what keeps us in unworthiness. Have you ever wondered why that toxic person in your life doesn't want you to have any friends? Why that toxic person in your life doesn't want you to learn? Doesn't want you to grow? Because once you do, you wake up. Sleepwalking. It's where we will begin our journey. Shame is what feeds this phase. I will go in deeper in the next videos. But I want you to know, before even taking a step with me, everyone feels shame. The reason we are in sleepwalking is we are avoiding feeling shame. There are many layers to sleepwalking. Staying in sleepwalking is protection, and has been protection for each of us. It's the only way to survive. Sleepwalking is survival. So as we learn about the phases, and as we learn about sleepwalking, you aren't alone. You aren't the only one on this journey that goes into step 1. We all are asleep in some area of our life. The moment pain turns to suffering is the moment when your soul and self is screaming at you, but you can't hear because the brain is driving. When the brain is driving, it will lead you to loneliness. Trauma rewires the brain. We, as feelers, have been built, have been created to experience emotion. Yes. We, as feelers, get stuck in the brain when we avoid emotion. Our brain has been rewired out of connection and into protection, which means if the brain is leading in protection, the only way to get out of the brain alongside, I'm willing to believe that possibly maybe, is connection. The brain is louder when you are alone. When you connect, truly connect, your brain will stop protecting. You need safe community if you want to heal long term. You cannot sit in a room, heal what you think you need to feel what you think you need to feel by yourself, and move through the phases. Because the overpowering sense of loneliness and isolation will keep you stuck in protection. Now, many of us watching do not have a means for safe community in our life, or we probably wouldn't be here. Modern Soul Society is a group with people just like you who feel alone. It's a group of people who don't have a family to call their own, with the word connection and safety. It's a group of people who have chosen to take steps on this journey, who have said, I want more, who have said, I want to heal, who have said, I'm going to go on this healing journey because I can't feel like this anymore. Modern Soul Society is for people that feel alone, isolated. It's a place where you can connect. The more connection we have, the less protection we need. So if you don't have this in your own life, we're going to give that to you. Connection requires participation. You cannot observe. So the first step, before we take a step in this journey, is to connect. You don't have to join the Facebook group. Some of us have reasons that we're not on there. But if you have Facebook and use it, join the Facebook group. It's private. Anything that is listed in that group cannot be seen by anyone else outside of that group. It's a safe space. You can also comment here in the course. But you must engage. So for those of you that are going into the Facebook group, hi, welcome. Welcome to Modern Soul Society. Hi. Yes. You're new, but don't worry, because you're entering a group of people who feel similar to you. They're scared. They don't think anyone will like them. They also feel alone. You need to learn to take up space with people. You need to learn to connect with others in a vulnerable way. So maybe the first step in that Facebook group would be to introduce yourself. Hi, my name's Kayla. I am going on a healing journey to heal my confidence. Something about me that I wish you knew, or that I wish people in my life knew, was that even though I seem harsh on the outside, I am soft and gooey on the inside. People at work have told me that I'm a little rough around the edges in my communication. But what I wish they knew was I'm just overwhelmed and I care so much. You see, we don't want to connect on our traumas just yet, because we don't want to re-traumatize ourselves. Let's connect on what we wish people knew about us. Not the how you are, but the who you are. It can be small, don't overthink it. Just a line. But the only way to connect is to feel seen and heard. So if I go in that group and say, hi, my name's Kayla, and I wish people knew that I love pizza. We're not connecting. Who doesn't love pizza? Even if you don't like cheese, you love bread. Even if you don't like bread, you love cheese. And if you don't, that's amazing for you. We need to step into community. Comment on other people's posts. Look for a way to connect. Look for a way to show that person you see and hear them. You don't have to spend hours, but connect. If you are not going to be in the Facebook group, do this with people in your life. Tell someone then, that you're on this journey. Tell someone safe. And if you don't have that, comment in the course under this video. Introduce yourself. And then what you wish someone knew about you. I know you all want the steps right now. Give me the steps. I need exactly what I need to do so I can start to heal. I'm not dripping out information slowly on purpose to keep you here longer. I'm reordering information so that you actually have a shot to make it to the end. There is science and magic in the order of what we teach here. You may want to skip steps all you want, and you may think that you don't need this step. But it is essential to your success. Now, after our introductions, we're going to be diving into the first phase of our healing journey. Compassion. You need to remind yourself of grace and compassion. You need connection. And you need focus. The focus that your brain cannot fight, which is feeding hope and inspiration daily. And softening to being willing to believe that possibly maybe. Da, 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 da. This isn't a healing journey to reach perfection. In fact, we're going to learn that perfection keeps you out of everything that you want. As moments pop up in how you are, we need to remind ourselves that we are separate. We need to look outside of ourselves and remember that thoughts aren't truth. Sometimes they're not even ours. Now, on this journey, it's going to require effort, action. You won't just be sitting in a room. You need to engage with connection so your brain is out of protection. This is the foundation of what we need to learn before we wake up. Unworthiness is a lullaby. It keeps us asleep. People think you have to be confident in order to wake up. No. You will open your eyes and you will see reasons why you are unworthy. Because you are not avoiding anymore, you are facing. If you open your eyes before connection, you will go back to sleep. So what I'm telling you today is essential to make it past phase 1. I want you to think about your life. What connection do you have? What people do you trust? And if you don't, you may want to consider a support package. Many of you do not have confident people in your life giving you advice. That's why I'm here. Use me. I'm probably one of the most confident people you ever meet. Not because I don't have this, but because I have woken up to my unworthiness so many damn times. And I have made it to alignment so many damn times. Anytime we go through a big change in life, we'll slide down the scale. Even if it's a positive change. Change is hard. I'm not better than anyone here. I'm here to show you that you can feel better. I'm here to show you what I've done. I'm here to show you what I teach in others and have seen. I'm here to show you what you need so you can be confident as well. I'm going to be sharing a lot about my story, a lot about my ups and downs, turns, twists, fall on my face moments. I have a lot of them. I am teaching this in a way that will not bring up more trauma as you listen. Teaching it in a way so you can resonate, so you can see how I've been sleepwalking and how I made it to confidence. I may not know your specific pain before we connect, but I know that you have deep pain. I know that anyone waking up into a worthiness wants to hit the snooze button. It's okay. Some of us get up on the first alarm. Some of us get up an hour and a half later. No judgment. We're not going to be going in order of how long it takes us to get through that phase, because I have to teach globally. What's great about the support packages, we can go at your pace. But I want you to know that as I'm teaching the phases, it will not take you just 1 week to get over a phase if you are not even willing to wake up. If only it could take 10 weeks to heal your trauma. I'm not saying that. I'm telling you, for a lot of people, it could take a whole year. It can take 10 years. But what I'm teaching you, the way and the order that I'm teaching you, is so that we speed up the timeline. So it might feel slow at first, but trust me, because I am an efficient person, okay? I am a recovering trauma perfectionist, so you better believe I want to be productive and I want to bring value to people. But this is my best productivity. Because my desire to have you reach confidence is greater than my desire to impress you. I'm not here to impress you. I have a really good life. I worked really hard at it. One of the things that I want you to remember is that while I've been there, there's nothing you could do or say that can slide me down the scale. My confidence vibration is so strong. It is so bright. And what's beautiful about that is I don't need you. I don't need you to be successful. I don't need you to tell me how amazing this journey is. I don't need you to convince me or to prove to me anything. I'm here and I'm a happy, fulfilled person. And I want you here. But I don't need you here. And in trauma, that can feel harsh to hear. But when you need something, manipulation happens. Choice is taken away. If I said, hey, I have a class on Monday, would really love it if you could make it. Oh, that sounds great. If I say, hey, I'm really, really struggling in my life, and I have a class on Monday, and if I don't get enough people on there, I'm just gonna quit. You're probably gonna try to make it to that class, right? I want you to know that as well, because I want you to be honest in this experience. Honesty is the only way out. And I want you to know that nothing you could tell me can break me as a person. You aren't too much. I've either seen it, heard it, witnessed it, experienced it, or helped someone through it. You should see the messages that I get. You should see the emails that I get. I would never show them to anyone else, but I wish you could see so that you could know you aren't alone. People who look happy on the outside send me messages of turmoil every day. Trauma doesn't look like anything. So as you step into this community with us, the soul family of yours, don't look around and say, oh, no one really looks like they've had trauma here. Because aren't we so good at hiding it anyways? Yeah. You aren't alone. You're wanted. And yet you're not needed. And what that gives you is a moment of being taken care of. I make sure to fill my cup all the damn time. I've learned really healthy boundaries. I say no when it feels good. I say yes when it feels good. I give when it feels good. And I fill my cup when it feels good. You have to be honest in order to have a shot at confidence. So, let's take this next week and let's connect. Okay? Introduce yourself, talk to others, connect. We're also going to be hosting a free class. We're not going to learn anything. We're just going to hang out. We're just going to hang out. Love for you to come. Send you the information over email. Let's break the ice. I've told you I don't expect trust immediately. I'm going to earn your trust over time. But what I need from you this week is to say, I'm willing to believe that possibly maybe I can trust you. Good. Connection week. Connection week. Can't wait to see you. Can't wait to get to know you deeper. I'm so glad you're here. And next time, you're going to have more notes in that notebook of yours. And if you don't have one, you might want to get one. You're loved.